Well, it's upsetting.
I think that the Americans are being ripped off by that.
It's an abuse of additional child tax credit refunds by undocumented workers, something that's been going on for years. Illegal immigrants are filing tax returns by using an individual taxpayer identification number, or ITIN, in place of a social security number. According to the IRS, it's legal, but the children that many illegal immigrants are claiming are not qualifying dependents for additional child tax credit, but they are claiming them anyway. In 2010, it cost you, the taxpayer, roughly $4.2 billion.
It's a question of whether or not, the individuals they're claiming as dependents are actually qualifying children for purposes of the child tax credit. For the child to qualify for the child tax credit, they have to live with the taxpayer.
Take a look at this document. This IRS checklist tells you whether your child is qualified for a child tax credit. But the problem happens here at the bottom of the checklist. It states if the child is not a U.S. citizen, U.S. national, or U.S. resident alien, then they cannot qualify for the child tax credit. But according to Republican Congressman Blake Farenthold, undocumented workers are claiming children on their tax returns anyway, lying to the federal government by saying these kids live with them when they actually live in Mexico.
Well, it's an example of waste, fraud, and abuse in the government, and it's an easy loophole to correct. In fact, the House of Representatives already passed, as part of our Budget Reconciliation Act, a requirement that in order to claim this credit, you need to list the Social Security number of the dependent children.
Congressman Farenthold tells Action 4 this is huge fraud, but it can be fixed. A bill has sat in Congress, but both sides, Democratic and Republican, have not agreed on how to fix this billion-dollar problem. Democratic Congressman Ruben Hinojosa says there needs to be change, but requiring a Social Security number is going too far. He says such a drastic change would be devastating to millions of innocent children. He adds it would disqualify 2 million working poor families and force them deeper into poverty. But Republicans say requiring a Social Security number would eliminate the temptation of claiming kids who are not U.S. citizens.
Obviously, children who are residing abroad aren't going to, or are not U.S. citizens, are not going to have Social Security cards. And all the IRS is going to have to do is validate those Social Security numbers and make sure they're not being claimed on multiple tax returns. So I think this is a good common sense fix to it that doesn't require big bureaucracy. It's just something we can get fixed like that.
So who is to blame for all of this? Well, the IRS, they say it's not them. They sent us a statement placing the blame on the tax preparers, saying that the IRS is very focused on preventing erroneous refund claims and also introduced new requirements and higher standards on tax return preparers to ensure they understand their obligations to assist taxpayers in preparing accurate returns.